Hey, One Piece fans, it's Chris Bolts coming in with another recap and review for One Piece. This is going to be episode 1124, completely surrounded the operation to escape Egghead. Now, before I get into the content, make sure you do like, share, subscribe, turn on those post notifications. All that stuff really helps me out. And I was kind of surprised that there was going to be another episode during my live stream yesterday for Soul Leveling Rise. One of my regulars, J-Bro, let me know, hey, I thought it was going to be coming out today. And I said, no, there's only the episode that came out yesterday was the episode that came out. Episode 1123, which was a filler episode for the most part, because it's trying to get everybody reacclimated with all the events that were leading up to where we're at currently at Egghead Island. But he said, nah, there's supposed to be another one that's coming out. And he looked it up on Google, and lo and behold, today they dropped episode 1124. Let me drink a swig of my water first. Gotta keep the mouth moist. So, hey, I'm all down for a double header or back-to-back showing here. So let's get right off into it. So pretty much the events on this episode right here. Luffy is now starting to flex his muscles with everybody there. You see he grabbed the microphone. Luffy don't give a fuck. He don't give a damn or anything like that. He will just go out there and let everybody know, because that's the kind of man he is. He's going to become the king of the pirates. He tells that to the Gorosei. The Gorosei pretty much, he lets them all know, hey, we have York. If you want us to go ahead and keep her safe, go in there and clear all the ships from the shore so we can get up and escape. And obviously they're not going to do that, not even for York. And York is a pretty important character because the York has can basically control the Mother Flame. She redirected all the passwords to her to be able to control the Mother Flame, plus also keeping everybody locked inside the labophage there. She's begging for them to come and help her out. Obviously, they're not. The Straw Hats are not going to kill her, but they do need a negotiation tool, and she happens to fulfill that. And here we have right here the Navy reacting because they're saying he's threatening the elders. He's wanting to go to war, and they think he's evil and all because he's holding that girl captive. Obviously, we all know about Mr. Luffy and all. And here we have Vivi, I always forget his name. He's gonna Wapol. He's gonna be in this upcoming season for the live action Netflix version of One Piece. Which, by the way, isn't that actually was a big surprise. I was actually worried about that for a moment, but it turned out to be the first season turned out to be really okay. Oda-san being involved turned out to be a blessing. I think he's still involved in season 2. He wants to make sure his baby is not being destroyed, so I'm really looking forward to what they're going to be doing in season 2. And all of them are surprised at what Luffy is doing. By the way, and if you remember in the last episode, he wrote up that he basically said that Luffy was sitting there holding Vegapunk hostage and holding York hostage, and not mentioning the fact that it was CP0 that actually was the catalyst for all the events happening on Egghead Island. So I don't know why he's surprised. Everything turned out to be truthful, but of course they don't want any of that to go ahead and happen, because you don't want to be messing with the 5 Gorosei. And this is right here. This is one of them talking to Luffy. Asked him, are you Mugiwara Luffy? And he says, yes, he is. And then one of them comes there and says, who was still alive in there? And we all know that Luffy is a big mouth, so he's going to start telling them. He's telling them all who's alive and everything. But Nico Robin, who happens to be the smartest of the group, stops him, comes in, wraps him up, and forcefully has him hang up the phone or the snail, because he don't want to give all the information away. And that's what Nico Robin's telling him. Information is a weapon. You must not give it to your enemies. And that's very true in all situations. When you have certain information that somebody else will want, don't just give it away so freely. But of course, that doesn't apply to Luffy. Luffy is dumb as bricks. The only thing he does well is eating, and fighting. So he doesn't have any other useful skills outside of those two. And of course, pretty much the last one is the most important skill, right? Because hey, you know something? Him and Naruto are pretty much the same. Although you can't say that about old man Naruto. Old man Naruto, well, no, I guess you can't even say that about young Naruto. Because young Naruto, he was, even though he gave off that aura of being stupid, he was actually very cunning and very tactical. So maybe, I haven't got picked that up about Luffy or anything like that. But anyways, back to One Piece. By the way, I was wondering during the entire episode, how did Nico Robin get injured so badly? Now, I know when they left the land of Wano after her fight with that big giant spider, Spider Woman, she suffered some pretty severe injuries. But I think these are pretty fresh injuries right here. I think these are fresh injuries from Egghead Island. I just don't remember what episode that was in or anything like that. And I don't want to go back and revisit that on this video. But if any of you guys know, jump in the comments and let me know. And so we're going to go over here to the Saint Saturn, who's telling them that there's only 3 things that needs to be protected, and everything else is expendable. York, their brain punk records, and the plant that can produce the Mother Flame. And I guess the Mother Flame was that same weapon that was used on Lelouchia. So those are the only things that he wants protected. Everything else is expendable. His the commanding officer right here asks him about CP0 and Rob Lucci. And of course, Saint Saturn goes back and says, these are just preliminary plans and everything like that. But then he goes back again and says, humans are expendable. They reproduce despite dwindling. So he really doesn't care that much about CP0 or anything. And so we have Miss York saying right here that she made a pact with the 5 elders. And of course, after she made that sound, said, if you hurt me, we'll destroy you just like we destroyed the land of Ohara. Nami didn't like that because obviously we all know that Nico Robin is from the land of Ohara. And Nami was like, yeah, smacked her upside the head. So now, how can you say such a mean thing in front of Nico Robin? So she's watching out for her friend and all. And we're gonna go ahead and fast forward here. Now they're starting to make plans on how they're going to be trying to escape. We see Rob Lucci here, basically just talking to his friend Kaku. Kaku tried to sit up and talk about how he helped save some of the other people there, and then Zoro comes up and says, I saved you too. And of course, Kaku being prideful didn't take kindly to that, and that's how he hurt himself right there again. And we go down into the basement where the other CP guys are all thankful for the Straw Hats for saving them from what was going to happen in the last episode from York. York was actually going to kill all of them, but now they're all alive thanks to the Straw Hat crew. I'm going to go ahead and go forward. And now we see S Snake right here, who happens to be Boa Hancock. Now we know that in the last episode before the hiatus, that S Snake, aka Little Hancock, had unpetrified everyone, and at the bequest of Luffy, at the behest, or what is it, bequest or behest? At the behest of Luffy, and we all know why, because S Snake, and I think all the it's kind of some lore right here, because S Snake actually still has some of the same qualities of Big Boa Hancock. And we all know that Boa Hancock has a big thing for Monkey D. Luffy, and then apparently Little Hancock also has the same thing. We see right here that Vegapunk says that he never programmed S Snake to do that, so his programming can only go so far. So this tells me that all the characters that they cloned are used as the basis for the Seraphim. They retain some of their qualities as well. So I'm assuming Little Bartholomew and Little Mihawk and Little Jinbei, the Seraphim, they all have their qualities too. So So Boa Hancock, as you can see right here, Luffy was pleading with her, and of course, we all know what happened right there. And so Jinbei says right here, even the original Hancock, a nasty piece of work, has a soft spot only for Luffy, which is absolutely correct. And so little Hancock has a soft spot for Luffy, so she did what he asked and unpetrified everybody. And of course, we had seen Luffy right there, and I like this little cuteness right here. He was saying thank you so much to her. And of course, little Hancock, like Boa Hancock, oh my God, did you say I love you? You see everybody looking at her, the CP guys, and Mihawk over there. I like that look from Mihawk. He's like, well, little girl, you obviously heard something that we didn't hear. So we go forward, and of course York is teasing her former satellites because she has a passcode that can bring down the entire shield, and she's teasing them with all that. And now that she lets them know, I'm not part of the satellite anymore, so my brain is independent from you, so you won't be able to get the passcode from me. And obviously they take that as a challenge. And we see Lucci right here, who's he's got something calculating in his head. I don't think Lucci's friendly or anything like that. He's always he is a government man through and through. So he's keeping those thoughts that his mind is just in overdrive, thinking and pondering and scheming. So yeah, that's that. I don't know. The manga people don't give away too much or anything like that, but I wonder what role he's going to be playing here next. And so here, Nami is telling them that the log pose is pointing northwest to Elbaf, the land of the giants. You see how happy Usopp and Luffy get, because man, they love their giants, they love their robots and everything. Speaking of robots, did you guys notice that Frankie's voice is different? Frankie's voice, I had to rewind it back to listen to it again, and I was like, why does he sound very different? And apparently the old actor who played the role, whose name is Kazuki Yao, it's being taken over by a guy by the name of Subaru Kimura, who says that this article right here from comicbook.com played Ryoma Terasaka in Assassination Classroom and Coup and Naruto Next Generations. Be that as it may, that was a shock when I first heard his voice. Like, what the hell am I listening to? I had to rewind it back, and I don't know yet. I do not know yet about Frankie's voice. We gotta wait until he gets to the part where he goes super. That will tell me. That will ultimately tell me if he's the right voice for Frankie. But so far, right now, I don't know. I don't know if I like that voice or anything. So here we go, right there. When he was sitting there talking right here and talking with Vegapunk, because they're gonna try to move the ship to the back of it. He's gonna try to use one of his robots to fly the ship out, and then within a certain radius, the robot will no longer fly because it's separate from the island at that point. And Frankie is telling them, "Hey, nah, I got Cola Burst, so we can do Kuda Burst and get out there and use and go even further, because I use Cola to power up my Kuda Burst." And of course, that got Vegapunk's mind thinking, that big giant brain or whatever's in there calculating, and he's scheming with them. And so these four right here, Giovanni, Luffy, and Frankie, and this satellite, oh my goodness, she's so hot. Both of them, but you can't really look at Giovanni because Giovanni is only 12. So you guys get that out of your gutter. Get your mind out of the gutter. They're all getting ready to go run and get that ship to get it ready to go. And hold on one moment here. I don't want to play. You got everyone all the way back here. And so, of course, Bonnie and Luffy have a one-track mind, and that's when it comes to food. And Luffy was kind of skeptical of Bonnie because Bonnie was moody and wanted to assassinate Vegapunk for what Vegapunk had did to her daddy Bartholomew. But she said, well, I had a long time to think and I no longer want to do that. I want to be able to help you guys, and we're going to all go to Elbaf together. And Luffy accuses her of crying all night. Of course, Bonnie said, nah, I didn't do that. And here we go right here. Now, let me tell you something. Eiichiro Oda really knows how to build very tense scenes. This scene right here between Saint Saturn and Kizaru, whose real name is Borsalino, there was no music playing, and it was just two diabolical men having a conversation. And man, I felt the intensity and the tension. And there wasn't even tension between, well, actually there was tension between these two men because Saint Saturn is very direct. I want you to do exactly what I tell you. But Kizaru was like, no, let me do it my way. I have principles that I need to stick by. And you will get your goal done, but it needs to be done my way. So we had that little tension right there. And Saint Saturn allowed him a little bit of leash to be able to go in there and do what he needs to do. And so I really liked this scene. It was really tense. Kizaru saying, I have a good friend of mine who is defending Vegapunk, and we all know that that's going to be his nephew, Sentomaru, which they're going to be getting into a little scuffle here in just a minute. And now the Navy, they've gone ahead and activated the Navy. Before that, Kizaru has just told them that CP0 Rob Lucci has just given them all the information they need to know. Like I said, when he was scheming and all, he was taking calculations, he was taking notes, he was keeping everything around. I don't know how he got the message to Kizaru, but he says that all the information we need to know was sent to us, and that was sent by Rob Lucci. They are now beginning to activate the Navy to go in there and attack the Egghead Island. Hey, we got Sentomaru right there. Sentomaru is looking up, and so is Kizaru. Kizaru is getting ready to activate his special ability that allows him to basically transport on the island, called Sacred Yatamitter. And you see all those lasers bouncing back, and he's getting ready to engage Sentomaru or Sentomaru. Is it Sentomaru? I think it's Sentomaru. We are finally going to see one of the admiral, the last admiral from Marineford, finally fight. And he's going to clash right here. And where is it? Let me go ahead and try to get that clash. Here we go. This right here, the clash between two giant powers. Sentomaru versus Kizaru. Nephew versus uncle. And of course, that light just goes off, causes them to all be surprised. Luffy says, someone here, someone strong. Kizaru is strong. I didn't participate in anything like that, but I'm pretty sure there's a lot of threads out there that were talking about who was the strongest between all the three admirals from Marineford, between Akainu, Aokiji, and Kizaru. I think Kizaru is probably much stronger than both of those two, but he's so laid back and he's so calm, and he has his own sense of justice that he wasn't in the pursuit of power as those two men were. He didn't want to. He's pretty comfortable where he's at. But that's what's going to be going on right there. The ending song to One Piece, this episode of One Piece, absolute fire, absolute banger and everything. And then of course the next episode, a clash of two men's determination. Kizaru versus Sentomaru. And I was right, it is Sentomaru, not Ben. That'd be funny with Sentomaru. Circle lunch. If you guys need it. Maru, by the way, is round. So Sentomaru, Kizaru, gonna show off and clash in next week's episode. Can't wait for it. This episode, again, I would still give it a 7.5. It was still more of an episode, and not so much filler, but it certainly did put a lot more of the lore out there. It's still doing a lot more world building. It's advancing the story, so I still will give it that 7.5 out of 10. Do you guys jump down in the comments and let me know what you think about that episode? Are you anticipating the next episode of One Piece like I am? Let me know that as well. And remember to like, share, subscribe, turn on those post notifications. All that stuff really helps me out. And remember, this is Chris Bolts signing off, and I will catch you in the next video. You guys take it easy.